The time is precisely 6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Anjana Dudamgoda and read by Rumesh Pires. The headlines. The beneficiaries of transitional and vulnerable groups receive 11.6 billion rupees under the Aswasama Welfare Benefit Program. The Prime Minister says the district secretaries hold the main responsibility of accelerating development initiatives. The Parliament to debate debt restructuring agreements next week. Former MP Hirunika Premachandra sentenced to 3 years rigorous imprisonment. The bus fares to reduce from next month. In foreign news, Trump and Biden bicker over golf in presidential debate. In sport, cricket, ruthless India thumbs England to reach T20 World Cup final. And now the local news in detail. Under the Aswasama Welfare Benefit Payment Program, the Welfare Benefits Board disbursed a total of 11.6 billion rupees to the bank accounts of 622,495 beneficiaries in the transitional and vulnerable categories yesterday for the payments of June 2024. In the first phase of the program, eligible beneficiaries in the vulnerable categories received 5,000 rupees from July 2023 to March 31, 2024. Meanwhile, those in the transitional category received 2,500 rupees from July 2023 to December 31, 2023. In response to the current economic situation, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed the Welfare Benefits Board to extend the payment period of special allowances for beneficiaries in the transitional and vulnerable categories under the Aswasama Welfare Benefit Payment Program until December this year. As part of this initiative, a special allowance was disbursed to these categories for June 2024, followed by monthly payments of 5,000 rupees each from July 2024 to December 2024. Additionally, Mr. Jayanta Wijeratne, Chairman, Commissioner of the Welfare Benefits Board, confirmed that the existing payment system for the extremely poor sections of the society will continue without changes. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says the district secretaries hold the main responsibility of accelerating the development programs of the government. There is a delay in implementing the primary section of the decentralized budget program. The Prime Minister made these comments while participating in a special meeting held at the Ministry of Home Affairs on Thursday to review the progress of decentralized budget program implemented throughout the island special projects Urume program and Kandukara Dasakya program. A total number of projects in the decentralized budget program is 33,362 and the allocated amount is 11,250 million rupees. The total amount of money that has been released for district is 11,022 million rupees and it represents 97.98 as a percentage. The remaining allocation to be released is 227 million rupees. The Committee on Parliamentary Business has decided to debate the resolution for the implementation of external debt restructuring agreements on the 2nd and 3rd of July, according to the Chief of Staff and Deputy Secretary General of Parliament. This has been decided in the Committee on Parliamentary Business held this morning under the chairmanship of Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardene and with the participation of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Accordingly, the Parliament is scheduled to meet on Tuesday, the 2nd of July at 9:30 a.m. and it has been decided to hold the debate until 5 p.m. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. Former Member of Parliament Hirunika Premachandra has been sentenced to 3 years of rigorous imprisonment by the Colombo High Court. The sentencing, delivered by Judge Amal Ranaraja today, comes after Premachandra was found guilty of involvement in the abduction and wrongful detention of a youth in the Dematagoda area on the 21st of December 2015. Hirunika Premachandra, formerly a parliamentarian with the SJB, faced accusations of abducting, assaulting and unlawfully detaining Amila Priyankara Amarasinghe, a shop employee in Dematagoda. According to Amarasinghe's testimony, the incident occurred following a relationship he had developed with a woman who frequented the textile shop where he worked. The court heard that Amarasinghe was abducted by individuals arriving in a Defender vehicle. Although 7 individuals identified as Premachandra's supporters pleaded guilty in 2017, Premachandra herself did not admit guilt to the charges brought against her. The bus fares will be reduced by 5% from 1st of July, the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association has announced. President of the association, Kemanu Vijayaratna, said that this will result in a 2 rupee reduction in the minimum bus fare. Addressing the media, he said, accordingly, the minimum bus fare will be reduced from 30 to 28 rupees. The decision was taken during a meeting between the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association and Transport Ministry officials today. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to the main news story. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that a final agreement was concluded with Sri Lanka's main official bilateral creditors in Paris recently, marking the end of debt restructuring negotiations with the Official Creditors Committee. Simultaneously, a final agreement was also reached with China's Exim Bank in Beijing, along with related formal procedures. President Wickremesinghe highlighted that these developments are good news for all patriots of the country. He underscored his commitment, contrasting those focused on presidential ambitions with his dedication to the nation's progress, emphasizing that his aspirations lie in advancing the country rather than personal position. And that came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight this evening, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board stated that a 15-hour water cut will be imposed in several areas from 9 a.m. tomorrow until 12 midnight. Accordingly, water supply to Dehiwala, Mount Lavinia, Sri Javadhanapura Kote, Kadwela Municipal Council Area, Maharagama, Borlasgamuwa, Kulunava Urban Council Area and Kotikawata Mulleriava Pradeshiya Sabha Area will be affected. Meanwhile, water supply for the Moratuwa Municipal Council Area will be under low pressure conditions. That came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Moving on to the bulletin of World News. Trump and Biden bicker over golf in presidential debate. Von der Leyen nominated to stay in top job. Peru's Pacific coast rocked by magnitude 7.2 earthquake. Now the World News in detail. President Joe Biden gave a stumbling performance in a 90-minute showdown with Donald Trump, the first televised debate of the 2024 presidential election campaign. But Vice President Kamala Harris defended Biden, saying it was a slow start, but there was a strong finish. Former President Trump repeatedly attacked the incumbent on the economy and his foreign policy record, while Biden took aim at his rival's criminal conviction and alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Trump also repeated falsehoods, from abortion to taxes and the deficit, and at first avoided answering if he would accept the 2024 election result. Biden called Trump a loser and said that he had morals of an alley cat. EU leaders have nominated current European Commission head Ursula von der Leyen for a second 5-year term in the bloc's top job at a summit in Brussels. Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas was picked as the EU's next foreign affairs chief, and former Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa was given as the next chairman of EU summits. All three candidates are from centrist pro-EU factions. The European Parliament is due to vote on the nominations for Mr. von der Leyen and Ms. Kallas. The U.S. Geological Survey reported a magnitude 7.2 earthquake struck the South Pacific Ocean 91 kilometers southeast of San Juan de Macona in Ica, Peru, early this morning. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the tremor occurred at 12:36 a.m. Lima time on Friday in the province of Naza in the Ica region. Volcano Discovery reported the quake had a very shallow depth of 28 kilometers and was felt widely in the area. Back to the headlines of the world news. Trump and Biden bicker over golf in presidential debate. Von der Leyen nominated to stay in top EU job. And Peru's Pacific coast rocked by magnitude 7.2 earthquake. And that concludes World News.
Development News.
In development news, some of the key stalled development projects in the country will once again restart with Sri Lanka successfully signing debt restructuring agreements with the Official Creditor Committee and China Exim Bank, says CLSA Research. The report said, with the completion of debt restructuring, President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed confidence in the resumption of certain projects like the expansion at the Karnataka Airport, Colombo Light Railway, Transit Project and Expressway projects. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
And in sports, it's cricket. India put in a fine team effort to defeat defending champions England by 68 runs in their T20 World Cup semi-final at Providence Stadium, Guyana, yesterday. England, chasing a target of 172, were bowled out for 103 in 16.4 overs. Indian spinner Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav did most of the damage, each taking 3 wickets and putting England under constant pressure. India will face South Africa in the final tomorrow at Bridgestone. Akshar Patel was named man of the match. The game started late due to rain, with India batting first. Early on, they lost Virat Kohli for 9 and Rishabh Pant for 4 during the power play. Rain halted play again, with India at 65 for 2 in 8 overs, with Rohit Sharma on 37 and Suryakumar Yadav on 13 at the crease. And that was sports news.
Go ekathiyana youth kat life ke change kat niyamata set na aswahagena dakpuina habe karana youth kat niyamata set na friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Moving on to business news. The world's leading new energy vehicle manufacturer, BYD, through its passenger vehicle authorized distributor, JKCG Auto, the subsidiary company of Sri Lanka's largest conglomerate listed on the Colombo Stock Exchange, John Keel's Holdings Private Limited, and CG Auto Private Limited, a subsidiary company of CG Corporate Global, headquartered in Dubai, officially unveiled the BYD NEVs, which are BYD pure electric vehicles in Sri Lanka at the EV Motor Show 2024, marking a revolutionary step towards fostering groundbreaking technology in sustainable transport. The company is further leveraging its partnership with BYD to cultivate local talent and create a knowledge hub for NEVs in the region. Accordingly, the global manufacturer has begun training the first batch of staff for the country's first ever EV workshop, setting the precedence for future collaborations to nurture local talent to international standards. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekathiyana youth kat life ke change kat niyamata set na aswahagena dakpuina habe karana youth kat niyamata set na friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news. Sri Lanka police says a total of 137 Indian nationals were allegedly part of a group engaged in a large-scale online financial scam operation have been arrested by the Criminal Investigations Department within yesterday from multiple locations in the country. Police media spokesman DIG Nihal Taldua stated that in Negombo, 55 suspects were detained along with the seizure of 55 mobile phones and 29 laptops. In Kochikade, 53 suspects were apprehended and authorities seized 31 laptops and 58 mobile phones. The Operation Madivela Sri Javadanapura Kote led to the arrest of 13 individuals and the seizure of 8 laptops and 38 mobile phones, while in Talangama Battaramulla, 16 suspects were taken into custody with 8 laptops and 38 mobile phones recovered. That was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we move on to the weather report. The Meteorology Department says several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batiklo districts in the evening or at night. Strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee, Hambantota and Monaragala districts. And that was the weather report. And now to wrap up this evening news broadcast, recap of the main news headlines. The beneficiaries of transitional and vulnerable groups receive 11.6 billion rupees under the Aswasama Welfare Benefits Program. The Prime Minister says the district secretaries hold the main responsibility of accelerating development initiatives. The Parliament to debate debt restructuring agreements next week. Former MP Hirunika Premchandra sentenced to 3 years rigorous imprisonment. The bus fares to reduce from next month. In foreign news, Trump and Biden bicker over golf in presidential debate. And in sports, ruthless India thumbs England to reach T20 World Cup final. And with that we conclude this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.